Have you ever wondered what XRP actually is? Let's break it down in simple terms. Think of it like this. XRP is the native digital currency for a technology called the XRP Ledger. Just like Bitcoin has its own blockchain, Ethereum has its network. XRP has its own system designed for one main purpose: moving money around the world, fast. Its whole reason for existing is to make sending money from one country to another as quick and easy as sending an email. It's built for speed and efficiency, which is something the traditional banking system has struggled with for decades. It's not trying to be a digital version of gold like Bitcoin. Instead, it's a tool for finance. It acts as a bridge currency, allowing a financial institution to instantly convert US dollars into XRP, send the XRP across the world in seconds, and then convert it back into Japanese yen on the other side. This process is incredibly fast, settling transactions in just 3 to 5 seconds. Compare that to the 3 to 5 days it can take for a traditional wire transfer. Ultimately, XRP is a specialized tool designed to upgrade the world's financial plumbing. XRP has a laser focus on utility in the world of finance. For years, a massive dark cloud hung over XRP. This cloud was a lawsuit filed by the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, back in December 2020. The SEC claimed that XRP was an unregistered security, and that Ripple, the company most associated with XRP, had sold it illegally. This legal battle created immense uncertainty. Investors were hesitant to buy XRP, and financial institutions were reluctant to adopt it for payments because they didn't know if it would be deemed illegal in the United States. This uncertainty acted like a huge anchor, weighing down XRP's price and slowing its growth while other cryptocurrencies were soaring. Everything changed on August 7, 2025. On that day, the SEC and Ripple Labs filed a joint dismissal of their appeals. This move officially ended the long and exhausting legal fight. It was a landmark moment for XRP and the entire crypto industry. With the lawsuit finally over, the biggest question mark surrounding XRP was erased. The resolution provided what the market had been craving for years: regulatory clarity. As soon as that break was released, the token was finally free to move forward. The legal victory wasn't just the end of a chapter, it was the beginning of an entirely new book for XRP. Just as the dust was settling from the historic legal victory, another monumental event took place. In July 2025, the SEC gave its approval for the very first XRP-focused exchange-traded fund in the United States. The fund was the ProShares Ultra XRP ETF, a leveraged product that trades on NYSE Arca. An ETF trades on a stock exchange just like a stock. It let traditional investors get exposure to XRP's price movements without buying or holding the token on a crypto exchange. The launch was a game changer for institutional adoption. For the first time, hedge funds, pension funds, family offices could invest through existing brokerages. This opened the floodgates for new capital into XRP. The ProShares ETF was futures-based, tracking XRP futures contracts, not holding the actual token. Different from a spot ETF, which would hold physical XRP but a critical stepping stone toward that goal. It legitimized XRP for Wall Street and mainstream finance. It put XRP in the same league as assets with ETFs, gold, oil, the S&P 500. Another crucial piece of the puzzle for XRP's incredible year was a major change in leadership at the very top of the SEC. President Trump appointed Paul Atkins as the 34th chairman of the SEC, taking over from the previous chair, Gary Gensler. This was not just a routine change, it represented a complete shift in the regulatory philosophy of the agency. Gary Gensler's tenure was known for its aggressive, enforcement-first approach to the crypto industry, which led to numerous lawsuits and a climate of fear and uncertainty. Paul Atkins, on the other hand, was widely known as a crypto advocate who favored a more modern and supportive regulatory framework. Almost immediately after taking office, Chairman Atkins signaled that things were going to be different. He launched a new initiative called Project Crypto, with the stated goal of modernizing digital asset regulations. This was a complete reversal of the previous administration's heavy-handed strategy. Instead of viewing crypto with suspicion and trying to fit it into outdated securities laws from the 1930s, the new leadership aimed to create clear, forward-looking rules that would allow the industry to innovate responsibly. This change in tone from the country's top financial regulator was like a breath of fresh air for the entire crypto market. This new crypto-friendly environment at the SEC had a direct and positive impact on XRP. With the legal battle over and a friendly SEC in place, XRP's price went on an incredible run in 2025. The positive news acted like rocket fuel, sending the token to heights it hadn't seen in years. The most dramatic surge happened in July. Following the news of the first XRP ETF approval, the price skyrocketed, reaching a high of approximately $3.70 on July 18, 2025. This was a massive milestone for the asset, as it surpassed price levels from the last major bull run in early 2018. In May 2025, unconfirmed reports began to circulate that BlackRock had met with the SEC to discuss its own application for a spot XRP ETF. Although these were just rumors, the mere suggestion that a financial giant like BlackRock was interested was enough to cause a significant price jump. On May 10, XRP's price pushed to a 7-week high of $2.47. These events created a powerful feedback loop. Positive news, like the ETF approval, would cause the price to surge. This surge would attract more media attention and bring in new investors, which would push the price even higher. Prediction markets reflected this optimism, with some estimating a 77% chance of a spot XRP ETF being approved by the end of the year. Another major factor was the introduction of new Trump tariffs. These tariffs on global trade created volatility in traditional markets, driving some investors to seek alternatives like XRP, which benefited from its global, borderless nature. Geopolitical events such as regional conflicts and shifting alliances also impacted XRP. During periods of uncertainty, digital assets like XRP often saw increased demand as investors looked for safe havens outside traditional banking systems. The approval of RLUSD, a Ripple-backed stablecoin, was a game-changer. It provided a stable on-ramp and off-ramp for XRP, increasing its utility and attracting more institutional investors to the ecosystem. Finally, the passage of the GENIUS Act legislation in the US established clear regulatory guidelines for digital assets. This clarity boosted market confidence in XRP, paving the way for further adoption and innovation. After the explosive price surge in July, XRP entered consolidation. This is a normal and healthy market phase. Prices can't go straight up forever. Consolidation means the price trades sideways in a stable range. For XRP, that's around the $3 mark. The price has been testing resistance near $2.92, and finding strong support around $2.86. It's like the market taking a breath after a long sprint. Consolidation means buyers and sellers have reached a temporary equilibrium. The asset is building a new base at a higher price, a new floor. That stability is bullish, investors are holding, buying pressure is preventing a fall, and the market appears to accept the new valuation. Institutional inflows remain strong. Expectations of Fed rate cuts are pushing capital toward risk assets. Repeated rejection at roughly $2.90, $2.92 shows profit-taking, but bulls holding above $2.86 shows strong demand. Looking ahead, experts are optimistic for end of 2025. Analysts say this consolidation could set up the next leg up. If resistance breaks, targets around $5.50 conservative year-end estimates, $4 to $5.50, assuming continued institutional adoption. Let's review the key events that shaped XRP's price in 2025. First, the SEC lawsuit ended in August, providing regulatory clarity. In July, the ProShares Ultra XRP ETF was approved, driving institutional adoption. XRP surged to a high of $3.70 on July 18. Earlier in the year, Paul Atkins became SEC chair, ushering in a crypto-friendly approach. In May, BlackRock's rumored ETF application fueled speculation and price gains. Trump tariffs and global geopolitical events increased demand for borderless assets like XRP. The approval of RLUSD, a Ripple-backed stablecoin, and the GENIUS Act legislation further boosted confidence. By late 2025, XRP consolidated around $2.90, with analysts projecting targets between $4 and $5.50 by year-end.